Welcome back to The Context USA with me, Sumi Somaskanda, in Washington.
And with me, Ben Brown, here in London. And a US judge has temporarily blocked an attempt by the Trump administration to deport dozens of unaccompanied Guatemalan children back to their home country.
Let's jump right in on that story now. The latest twist in President Trump's immigration agenda. Dozens of children from Guatemala remain in the U.S. after a judge blocked the Trump administration's attempt to send the unaccompanied children back to their home country.
Yeah, this was District Court Judge Sparkle Suknanen who issued a temporary restraining order barring officials from sending all unaccompanied children said to be at risk of deportation. The children arrived in the United States alone and are in government custody while their immigration claims are assessed. The judge's order is in place for 14 days.
Now, interestingly, Guatemala's President Bernardo Arévalo criticized the ruling, saying the children are not being deported, they're being repatriated and reunited with family. And President Arévalo promised to continue fighting to bring the children home under a pilot program that he'd proposed to President Trump.
And this was the reaction from President Trump's Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, who spoke to Fox News on Sunday.
Today, you saw something extraordinary in Washington, D.C., and by extraordinary, I mean disgusting. In the middle of the night, at 3:30 a.m., a local judge in D.C. enjoined the Department of Justice, ICE, and DHS from sending Guatemalan children back to their parents in Guatemala.
Well, in court filings, lawyers for the children argued that the action was in violation of federal laws designed to protect children who arrive in the U.S. alone. And they said some of the children had pending cases before immigration judges and that they expressed credible fears about being returned. And at least 20 of the children are living in San Antonio, Texas. So we'll get a thought from our panel in a moment. But first, let's bring in local journalist Paul Flahive. He's been speaking with their lawyers. Paul, very good to have you with us. Give us a sense of what the lawyers said about how these children are doing, how they are coping with the situation.
Well, right now, they're still in Harlingen, Texas, which is about 3.5 hours south. It's not clear to Jonathan Ryan, their attorney here in San Antonio, when he will have access to his clients again. It's also not clear how they're coping. In the middle of the night, they were rousted from their bed and told that they were going home. And he described terrified children. The group that he was with was about 8 or 9 children. They were all in their teens, but we know that there was kids as young as 7 years old in the dozens of children taken to Harlingen to be deported in the middle of the night.
So, we did hear, as we mentioned in the intro there, that the president of Guatemala says these children are being sent home to be repatriated with their families, that this should happen. What do we know? I mean, you said the children were terrified, but about how the children feel about being returned home.
Yeah, I mean, all of the comments I've gotten from Mr. Ryan and from other attorneys representing these children is that they fled here for a good reason. Some of them fled gangs who were trying to recruit them. They fled abuse and neglect from families. So, and it's important to note that in the actual court hearing on Sunday afternoon, this pilot program was not brought up, and the legal rationale for this was questioned by Judge Suknanen. So it's not clear what the narratives are at the moment from the government, but they are not lining up with what the attorneys are saying that their clients are experiencing.
How widespread or common is it to see unaccompanied children having come into the U.S.?
Right now, the U.S. government, the Office of Refugee Resettlement, had about 2,100 children in its custody as of July of this year. That's actually about half what it was 6 months prior. So it's not super uncommon, and it has been something that's been going on for many years. I think it's important to realize that many of these children have been in San Antonio for many years, building new lives, going to schools, being on sports teams. So today, tomorrow when they're not at school, people will notice that these kids that were part of the community are no longer here.
This is all, of course, as we see President Trump carry out his mass deportation scheme. I mean, what do we know about what the administration has said about these children who are unaccompanied in particular?
Well, specifically, Drew Ensign went into court yesterday afternoon or on a Zoom call and said that these kids had requested to go home, something that their lawyers said was patently false. Jonathan Ryan said that Mr. Efren Oliveras, who was in court that day, had given several testimonies from his clients to the judge, who read them into the court record, many of them saying that they were fearing for their lives if they returned to Guatemala.
Okay, we'll leave it there, Paul. Really good to have your reporting on the show today. Thank you.
Thank you.